What's up, Exeters? So we have here today on this exit in Massachusetts at the Spidergate Cemetery. This cemetery is out in the middle of nowhere.
Kind of gives you a whole Pet Cemetery vibe.
It does. It does. And we're going to go into the legend of this place along with some of the ghostly stories that go along with it. So you guys know what to do. Come join us, man. Join us on this adventure. We are currently walking to Spidergate Cemetery. Now, back in the day, this cemetery used to be called Friendship Cemetery. Now, if you look it up on Google Maps, it's called Quaker Cemetery. But the locals have the name of Spidergate Cemetery. The reason this cemetery gets that name is the iron gate with art style sun decor that kind of resembles a spider and its web. This place is supposed to be haunted. Now, you can come here. It's a good little walk through a wooded area. You have to park on the side of the road up there. Spot's just big enough for about 3 cars. Oh, a nice little flowing stream. You come here during the day, but once the sun goes down, that's whenever the local Quaker group considers it trespassing. Just remember that if you want to come and visit. There it is. Friendship Cemetery. An active private cemetery under the care of the Worcester Friends Meeting. So you'll notice the spider gates are gone. Would have been right here. I didn't even realize that till I walked straight through them and Renee said something.
So one of the local legends involving this cemetery has to do with one particular headstone. And that headstone is that of Marmaduk Earl, which is right over there.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, I found that. The legend is if you circle that headstone 10 times at midnight and knock on it, put your ear to it, that person will talk to you. Now, I know it's not midnight, and technically after dark, if you come here, you are considered trespassing. But we're going to give it a go here at the daylight hours and see if anything happens.
Midnight somewhere.
So here's a shot of the headstone we're talking about. You can see the years are for 1749 through 1839, and somebody was nice enough to leave a fresh apple on the grave.
Alright, I'm going to try it. Gotta be freaking beauty. That's probably how people hear something. Is the fact that they get so freaking dizzy that they hit their head.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Alright. Marmaduk, speak to me.
You ugly.
Marmaduk, speak to me. He's asleep.
Nothing.
Nothing.
So I guess you do have to be here at midnight for it to work, if it does. If you come around here and you look at the area around this particular headstone, you'll notice that this ground is pretty worn out from where people have tried it compared to all the rest of them.
Marmaduk Earl was a beloved member of the Quakers, right? So much so that the road that you actually walk down after you park your car is called Earl Street, coming here to the cemetery. And they believe that local kids picked his grave over a dare. And over time, the legend just grew with the knocking and the circles. But people have claimed that after doing that ritual, that they do hear moaning coming from the grave. But who knows? It didn't work for us. Maybe you do have to be out here at midnight, which kind of sucks because they do consider that trespassing if you're out here. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. So I did the ritual again. I've already walked around it 10 times, but I only left 25 cents. And with today's phone prices, maybe Earl needs 50 cents. Maybe 25 just don't cut it like back in the day. So I'm going to leave him another quarter. And we're going to try this one more time. Marmaduke, speak to me. Okay. Marmaduke Earl said to subscribe to Exit to Adventures channel and all their social media. Do what the man says. He knows a lot. So I'm currently standing in the middle of what used to be the old Quakers meeting house. And the only thing that remains is 4 corner cement pillars. No grass is said to grow here, which is really, really odd. So here it is, and you can see there's a stone. There's one there, there's one to my left, and one to my right. I know there's pine straw down, but there's also a lot of dirt underneath this pine straw. Grass is not growing here. Now it says that they, I think locals call this the altar, and claim that it used to be used for like satanic rituals and trying to conjure spirits and ghosts and stuff like that. So I don't know. All I know is this is where the meeting house used to sit before it was moved, and it's right smack dab in the middle of the freaking cemetery with the only trees surrounding it. The legend has it that a boy hung himself from this tree just inside the gates, and the gates were put up as a means to honor this young boy. Some people have even claimed to still see a rope hanging from it, but it's kind of weird that this tree is the only one inside the cemetery that doesn't have any leaves or pine needles or anything. It just looks dead, barren, and very spooky. It's said that they believe the gates were put up to kind of deter people from coming in trying to look for this kid's ghost. Yet some people have still claimed to have seen it. Some people, like I said, have claimed to have seen a rope hanging from this tree. But they also say that the gates that are not up right now were also a gate to hell. And that it's believed that there are 7 other gates on this property somewhere, or 7 other gates around the country, depending on who's telling the story. And that if you open these gates at a particular time, it'll take you to the 8th gate, which just so happens to be located in hell. So who knows? The gates are gone right now. So who's to say? Over on the other side of the east wall of the cemetery, you see these cement pillars. Now we've looked it up and researched it, and nobody knows what these pillars used to be. They definitely were not, I mean, they're original looking. They're not like they're new. But we've also, I've noticed that each one of them have a hole in the top of all these pillars, almost like some kind of rebar or something used to go through it. Maybe not rebar, but something used to go through them. And this one over here, right there, definitely has something sticking out of the top of it. Like I said, all the research we've done, oh, and they even have holes in the bottom of them too. So let me cross over. Hopefully this is not a giant tomb that I'm about to fall through. Y'all just know where to send the search party in case there's a hole I'm about to fall through. This one though has a hole in the bottom and a hole in the top. And the hole goes all the way through. This one has a piece of metal rebar sticking out the top of it. But it looks like there's one behind the tree. It looks like almost every one of them have a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom. And this is some very soft ground over here, so I'm gonna go back in the cemetery before I fall through into a underground cavern.
So we've noticed on several of the headstones, not just Marmaduk headstones, that people are leaving coins on the top of these headstones. Now it's said that there is a creek, which you've already seen us walking in, we saw the creek, but they say that this is actually the river Styx, and these people need a coin to pay the ferryman. So that's why they leave them.
Well, that does it for us here at Friendship Cemetery, aka Quaker Cemetery, aka Spidergate Cemetery, depending on who you talk to and what you look up. It's now known on Google Maps, like I said, as Quaker Cemetery, but the plaque up front says Friendship, and the locals know it as Spidergate.
I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the creepiest cemeteries we've been to, other than Mount Nebo in Alabama.
Yeah.
And it's partially just because both of them are all the way out in the middle of the woods with nothing else around.
Yeah, Mount Nebo is definitely a lot further out. If you haven't seen that video, we'll try to link it either up here or at the end. We went out there a while back, a year or so ago, 2 ago, so we need to make another trip out there and do some more stuff versus just looking at the face. Anyway,
I got scared. I heard leaves moving and it was a squirrel, but I was ready to run.
But yeah, Mount Nebo is way further out than this one, but this one, just because of its background and local legends, and is a lot more creepy feeling even in the daytime than Mount Nebo. Anyway, we'll catch you guys down the road at the next exit.
Keep it spooky.
Later.